It's time for Dart Talk. Brought to you by thedartzone.com. Stay in the zone. Thedartzone.com is an official Cosmo distributor and Windy City Fabricators, America's premier fabricators of orthotics and prosthetics. And Redwood Darts, America's newest tungsten darts. Stand straight and tall and hit them all. Redwood Darts. And now, here are your hosts, Mystery Mark and Steve P.
Okay, welcome to Dart Talk.
Welcome.
We're back. We took last week off.
Yes, we did.
How'd that work for you?
Oh, it was fine, I guess, but
You didn't miss
the reason I took it off turned out to be a disaster. We got rained out
Oh, right.
for golf.
Right.
We played
Anyway,
one round.
Okay. Don't mean to cut you off.
That's
I'm
all right.
just
Do
kinda-
whatever you gotta
I'm
do.
a little fried today. Dart Talk brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators, Redwood Darts. A lot to get to. I'm going to go off on darters in general.
Okay.
Don't end the show without me going off on these people, because I was really kind of surprised. I went down to Louisville, and I was there for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and we left on Monday. So 4 days I spent at a soft tip tournament, which is by far the most time I've ever spent at a soft tip tournament. It was a very interesting experience, met a lot of nice people. And it was just sort of interesting because I had a lot of time to kind of observe, because I wasn't playing.
Right.
I just went down with Bill Penn
You were
from
working.
thedartzone.com. I was kind of helping him, set up his shop and play, retail guy, So it's just an interesting way to look at a dart tournament because, as a player, you only see what players see. And, if you're a tournament director, you kind of only know what's going on behind the desk, and you're never really fully aware of what's going on in front of the boards. As a retail guy, you have a real good overview of everything that goes on, and it's a much different, it's like, what is it? What's the thing that blind guys are touching the elephant or something, and then one guy thinks it's his. One guy's touching the trunk and thinks it's something. Another guy's touching the tail and thinks it's something else, and they don't realize they're all touching different parts of an elephant. It's kind of like that.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, well then run the disclaimer and we'll just move on. I'm not going to explain a cliche.
The views, opinions, rants and rampages expressed on Dart Talk do not necessarily reflect individually or collectively those of our sponsors, co-sponsors, wannabe hosts, hearing-impaired critics, or those with a penchant for attitudinal dysfunction. We at Dart Talk strive to provide you, the listener, with an educational, entertaining and fun-filled experience each and every week. If after the show you, the listener, find yourself feeling uneducated, unentertained and or bored, we at Dart Talk consider that your own problem.
And, wish you a lot of luck with that.
I just apparently
obviously.
have never heard that cliche before.
Well, I don't know. It's not a cliche, really. It's like a parable or something.
Okay.
You've never heard
Apparently
that?
not, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever. I'm sure it made sense to, our chat room. We have the smartest chat room in the business. Hi to everybody in the chat. Be patient. Mark's tired.
Yes.
He's got to be as tired as I am. I can barely keep my eyes open. So, he may, just hang in there with the chat. As always, if you really want to communicate something to the show, you can email darttalk@gmail.com. If you want to listen to the audio podcast, we're on iTunes, we're on Stitcher.com, we're on TuneIn.com. We have our own website. It's darttalk.us, and that's where you need to go to find out about the Players Challenge Series.
Okay.
I believe I've closed in on the next 4 matches. We have dates and venues for the next 4 matches. We'll announce that officially next week, but when you all the information for those things is going to be on the website. I'm trying to migrate people off of Facebook because I think the website works better. So we'll tell people on Facebook that hey, check here, check there, but darttalk.us is where you need to go for information about the Players Challenge Series. And we will have some exciting news about that next week.
I can't wait.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
I'm
I
pretty
have
sure,
to.
I'm
I
pretty
have
sure
to
you
wait.
can wait. Anyway, do you got anything before we? Because we have guests. Patiently
We do have
waiting in
guests.
the
Everybody's
wings.
already noticed that
Patiently
we have
waiting.
guests because you're already showing the guests live. So everybody.
Well, yeah, but nobody knows who they are.
No, they just know we have guests.
Who? Okay, the first one in the chat room who says that they're frickin' frack are getting banned because this is not frickin' frack. This
No,
is,
somebody in the chat room already asked Aaron to stop slouching.
Oh, so they've got their posse in the chat
Yeah,
room.
yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So.
Just in the chat room, just remember, if we ban you from the chat, you're banned for life. That's why we use this chat program, because we've had a couple of people that, get out of line in there. Just be nice and civil, and we'll get along fine. Anyway, we'll let Aaron and Owen introduce themselves because I will mix up their last names, and I know they told them to me, but. We'll get them on here, and then we'll talk about why they're on the show, because we had Angelo DiGiulio on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't how long ago, 3 or 4 months.
Yeah,
and he was talking about that they were talking about doing some Guinness World Record thing for charity in Buffalo. And I said, well, get us the info, and, we'll be happy to, talk about it. And it was kind of funny because then the Cleveland guys called me, hey, what about our Guinness Challenge and all this stuff? And they were going to get another one going. But then I haven't heard anything about that as of now. But Aaron and Owen can tell us all about that. And, wow, it's kind of nice watching people drink iced tea.
People have a nice cold frosted beverage.
People drink iced tea. Not that anyone would drink alcohol on our show. Anyway, let's start with, we'll go left to right. Aaron, tell us your name and where you're from.
Aaron Broome, president of the Dart League. I've been born and raised in Buffalo area my whole life.
And that's the Buffalo Area Dart League?
Correct.
So do you guys call yourselves like the Battles?
The Battles.
No, just the BADL.
BADL. Okay, so there's no acronym there. Okay, and on your left and camera right is Owen. Owen, tell us your name and where you're from.
Owen Stuart, originally from Belfast, Northern Ireland, moved here to Buffalo. My father helped start the league in Buffalo in '78, and I've been a player ever since.
I guess he didn't pack his accent.
No, when I was about 10.
Oh, okay. Well, that's nice. Let's start off because I know you guys want to talk about this Guinness World Record Challenge. Before we get into the real details, I'm kind of curious, sort of how you came up with the concept and kind of how that germinated and how it went from like step 1, step 2, step 3. Can you take us through that real quick, or is that like way too big a question?
Well, but it sort of, the seed was planted probably about 25 years ago, actually. When
so the
Dave
show can take no credit.
So,
for
yeah,
this. Okay.
So you guys are just on top
when
of
Dave
things.
Gordon, the owner of Cricket Darts, 2 years before he passed away, he was the guy that brought the Lucky Lights dart tournament to Buffalo. It was a 20 grand tournament back then. So it was his baby back then, but it never flourished until we had a bar conversation.
How every conversation ends up.
So,
Okay.
and then it was reborn.
And so how long ago was it reborn?
We've been working at it for a solid year until about now. So last June.
Oh, okay. I find that interesting. One of the things that I was thinking about over the weekend was how little the average dart player knows about what it takes to get a tournament going. Like from the day you say, you know what, we're going to have a tournament, it's going to be on this day until the day that it actually occurs, and whatever the aftermath. I'm not quite sure how long that takes either. So take us through just generally, if you guys don't mind. Tell us kind of what it took to get this thing going up to the point that it is today.
Yeah, so once we kind of had the concept of, hey, we want to set these Guinness World Records, and what does that kind of take? We kind of dug in a little bit to figure out what are these Guinness records even available and what's possible to even go after. So the original idea was, hey, let's just find this time to get together and try to break these records and figure out, what makes it official and all the rest. And when the idea was brought over to me, I kind of had an envision of, well, if we're going this far, why don't we kind of wrap a tournament around it and see if we can bring people into in the area from Rochester and Syracuse and where just around the Buffalo area to try to make a tournament out of it, because we've talked for a number of years that we'd love to get some sort of Buffalo Open back into the mix. And try to get, it would be great if we could do like a $10,000-$20,000 tournament at some point in time. So we figured, well, maybe this is the way to kind of get introduced into doing a tournament. And as we started planning more and more, it sounded like, well, if we're going through this, we probably should do something for charity. We kind of batted around the idea of a couple of different organizations and thought that it's not going to add that much more extra work on top of what we're already doing. And if we're going through this effort, we might as well do it for a good cause at the same point, because I think it'd be worth our while to do. So that kind of added an extra spin into it's not just these records, and it's not just running some tournament events, but on top of it, let's see if we can raise some money for, in this case, we ended up doing for cystic fibrosis.
For cystic fibrosis.
Apparently, we have another guest.
Yes, this is Lance Friedman.
Somebody has just shown up.
Okay, and here, because I had my
is
glasses off, and I was kind of like, hey,
Yeah.
isn't there like,
There's another
they're getting photobombed on our show.
Yeah.
This is a first. All right, well, we kind of like this.
Hi, Lance.
I finally was released from my bonds, and I was allowed to join the event.
And actually, Lance can give you a little rundown on where he was before he came here with Adelphia.
Well, no, Time Warner Cable has a public affairs program, and they graciously gave us. All right, I'll come forward.
Yeah, the mic.
Yeah, they graciously gave us a half an hour of time on their public affairs program. I just came from taping that. Actually, it was live, but it's going to be repeated numerous times before the event.
Awesome. Okay, I'll tell you what. Why don't we're going to take a commercial, and you guys can get yourselves situated so that Lance can be a little closer to the microphone, and then we'll talk to Lance a little bit and find out about the Time Warner Cable show. That's actually kind of seems like a pretty cool thing. These guys kind of got it together. It's very impressive. Okay, so we'll be back with with the Battle Boys, the Buffalo Area Dart League. You're listening to Dart Talk with Mystery Mark, Steve Pananciaman, and the Battle Boys, and we'll be back in a minute.
She's actually invited us back.
The views and opinions expressed on Dart Talk are those of the hosts. They in no way should be misrepresented, misinterpreted, or made to claim that the universe is against you, your family, your city, or the darting community at large.
Okay, back for the second quarter of Dart Talk, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators, Redwood Darts, and we are joined by the Battle Boys,
The Battle
Brothers.
Boys.
What did I call them?
The Bad L Boys.
Buffalo Area Dart League. We have Owen Stuart, we have Aaron, and we have Lance. Welcome back to the show, guys. Make sure you unmute your microphone there so we can hear you. So before we went to the break, Lance, you were telling us you were just on the local, cable access show or something?
Yeah, Time Warner does a public affairs show once a week, and we were graciously given a full half hour on the show. A little bit short notice. I found out at 2 o'clock this afternoon, so I didn't have time to learn my lines very well. But it actually went really, really well.
Well, thank God they're replaying it then.
The host was great. She was very gracious, and it really was a good thing. We've actually been invited back on.
To do what?
To tell her how full event goes and how many records get set.
Oh, okay, yeah. To kind of like let everybody know how it went. Well, I think that's great. Are they going to send a crew over there or something?
They had mentioned that they might try and do a remote. It's interesting because their public affairs show is actually done in a suburb of Buffalo called Lockport. It's about, 25 miles outside of town. So it's probably a big deal for them to come all the way into Buffalo. But we're hoping to get some other TV coverage. And
25 miles, I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
It's summer. You're not using snowshoes, right? I mean, it's a big deal to go 25 miles. I mean.
Come on,
use hairspray. I mean, it's not going to
equipment.
mess up her hair.
You guys come to town, maybe we can talk them into doing the show in their studio.
Right, because, Dart Talk's in town.
That'll seal
Let's
the
have
deal
a
for sure.
parade. Yeah.
Well, if you guys come to town, we'll make sure to arrange for snow. How about that?
For a what?
For snow.
For snow.
Oh, for snow.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's
real thoughtful of you.
We get another that.
Yeah, because I've never seen lake effect snow
Yeah.
living like a sandwich.
Depends on which side of the lake you're on. I know how it works.
Well, yeah, we're on the good side as far as that goes, but we do get it sometimes.
Okay.
All right, so let's back up a little bit now. Did you guys, as you were kind of figuring out, you wanted to have this tournament, you wanted to do this, and you wanted to do that. Did you guys kind of come up with some division of labor, or was it just sort of like, hey, somebody needs to do this, who wants to do it, kind of thing?
You're looking at it.
You're looking at
This
it.
is the division.
So
You're the labor?
when you guys are in a bar, Lance sits in between you. Is that how it works?
Yeah, well, I've got away from the laps, and so finally I got my own chair.
Yeah. No, we're actually getting a large contingent from cystic fibrosis to be a lot of witnesses and hands-on people during the event. So it should work out.
And it seems like just from word of mouth, and as we've been talking to different league members, they all, for the ones that especially plan on coming down anyways, a lot of them have told me that they'd be more than willing to, lend a helping hand at some point in the day or the night. So we're kind of banking on good Samaritans, if you will.
Okay, well, if it's one thing I know about the darting community is when it comes to something like this, they tend to pitch in with both hands. I mean, I've never been more impressed with the kind of stuff, just in general I've seen over the years, charity-wise, all the efforts people do. Toys for Tots, JDRF.
Yeah.
They just, apparently the Beacon of Hope was very successful. By the way, I fined us a late fee for our board that we sponsored, so you owe me $25 instead of $15.
Geez.
Yeah,
All right.
just so you know.
Why'd you fine us?
Because I kept forgetting to PayPal them for the board sponsorship, and I felt so stupid doing it. I'm like, well, let's just pay extra.
All right.
So we paid it. So
I think
some of that's on you.
All right. I'm fine
Half,
with that.
to be honest. Anyway, so take me down to like what we're actually. Let's talk about the Guinness part for a second. How many records are you going to try to break? And
Well, first of all, how did a Guinness Book of World Records for darts come about? Do you have any idea?
me personally?
No, not you.
Oh, okay.
These guys. They're
Well,
the
you're
one that,
looking at me. Look at that.
They're the ones that researched it.
Like, because they can't really see you, but okay.
Well, like I said earlier in the show, it was a long previous past idea, but it was I was just sitting down rehashing it because the name cricket darts is sort of important around here history-wise, and I was reading through some old magazines and thought about it again and texted Angelo DiGiulio about it, and it sort of started from there.
He's been on the show, by the way.
Yeah.
Did he mention that to you?
Yes, he
We watched that
we
show.
watched that.
How old is the record that you're trying to beat?
Yeah. What records are we going after here? How many and what are they?
We originally applied for 13 different records. We were denied on 7 of them. So we've got 6 that we are successfully going to challenge. One of them is the longest distance to throw a double bull. The other is the most bulls in 1 minute by an individual. Another one is the most bulls in 2 minutes by 2 people. The men's total point record in 1 hour by an 8-man team. The women's total point record by an 8-person team in 1 hour. And there's another one that I'm missing.
And the marathon itself.
And the marathon itself, of course, the marquee event.
Okay. Just off the top
He's
of my
missing the
head,
marquee
we're
event.
going to have to take these one by one. I don't think
the
they're gonna be
longest
able
to throw-
they're not going to break any of these.
The
But
longest to
this
throw
is
a double
interesting.
bull.
Now, what is the record for the longest throw of a double bull?
16 feet, 6 inches.
Can you wind up, or do you have to actually have a dart form?
You know what? It's you can wind up, and
Yeah, you can
you'd be
wind up.
surprised that you probably have to. Yeah.
Well, and it's kind of funny too, because after we kind of announced to our local guys that we were going to do this, it was a league night, and a bunch of people were sitting around after a match just kind of messing around, and one guy hit it from his brother hit it from like 17 feet or so, just by messing around, just by chance. So
I don't understand how is this one going to work? I mean, somebody's going to be 16 feet behind the line, and everyone's just going to keep throwing until someone hits it, and then you got to hit it within a certain amount of time.
So the way we've structured it is for each record attempt or each category of record that you want to attempt, we're asking for a $10 donation to CF, and that gives you, and I'll say, unlimited number of opportunities to throw for this record. The stipulation being we've set apart certain amount of time within our weekend for each Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to come down and make the attempt. And then we're also saying that because there are other people that want to make other attempts, that we're basically not going to have one person throw until they hit it. We're going to give everybody an opportunity to throw at least one attempt for the record that they've purchased. And then if there's time permitting and boardroom permitting, then you can make multiple attempts at it.
Well, what happens if somebody hits one in the first 5 minutes? You're going to back up an inch and then see if somebody can do 16 feet 1 inch?
Yeah.
For $10, sure.
Because to be honest with you, this is something that I've actually done from time to time, just joking around. But 16 feet's pretty far. I don't know that you can do a baseball throw, but you're going to have to aim awfully high.
Yeah,
right.
Stipulate anything as far as form. They just stipulate more the result.
They also do stipulate that the darts themselves have to conform to World Dart Federation standards.
So the notion of two-handed throwing a 15-foot dart is forbidden.
Exactly.
Okay, because I really thought that was going to be the way to do it. Okay.
Yeah,
so now you're going to have Guinness people there?
Well, that was sort of the kicker there was we could have had them there, but it would have cost us $7,000 for one event, and then a decreasing price for every event after. So that's taken away from the charity. So
how does it make it official then?
Yeah, Guinness is not, to my mind, a charity. $7,000 so they could stand there and be like with their micrometer saying,
"Congratulations!"
That's garbage.
Yeah. So we're recording everything and having all the proper witnesses, and that's another avenue where Guinness will accept it.
Guinness has actually given us very strict guidelines for the event itself as well as the verification. So we have to have 2 witnesses at all times. I'll talk specifically about the marathon event because that's the one I'm most familiar with.
Okay.
We have to have 2 witnesses at all times. We have to have a steward. The event has to be filmed from 2 different angles at all times. And all of that has to be submitted to Guinness, as well as the venue itself has to be set up by a state-certified surveyor. So all the distances are certified as accurate.
Okay.
All
right. For one,
you need lawyers to get involved.
How many stewards are you going to have for this marathon that's supposed to be what's the record for that? 41 hours?
41 plus hours,
Hey,
yeah.
real quick,
Below 41.
in the chat room, it says Nicholson and Whitlock both hit bull from 20 feet in Australia last year.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that 16 feet's a little too close. If you really,
Well, interestingly enough, there's a lot of these records that are unofficially broken all the time.
Right.
It's a question of actually, can you do it within the controlled confines that Guinness sets up?
Of course, this also said they hit the bull. It doesn't say hit the double bull.
Right.
Was that Sparther saying that?
No.
Okay. Be careful. There's somebody, be careful what you see in the chat room there. But okay. So I'm sorry, 41 hours is the marathon record?
A little over, yeah. I think 41 hours, 1 minute.
20 minutes.
For what?
Do you?
For 501?
Yeah. What? Because Mark was saying so. What is the deal? It's one leg of 501 where you have to miss double one for 41 hours.
Yeah. It takes you.
No,
Because
you just
I think is.
I mean,
is
I've played some
pointless.
long games in league. but
I saw Mark play league 2 weeks ago, and he could go way more than 41 hours
Yeah, I
without
could
hitting the double one. Apparently, no. Seriously, what are you actually going to do here with this marathon? What is the actual format?
As far as I know, we play 501 or 301, but when you finish a game, you just move on to the next game, and we get 5 minutes break for every hour played.
Every continuous hour.
Every continuous hour.
And
if
those.
you don't have a continuous hour, then it's done.
What is a non-continuous hour?
I mean, if you don't have a continuous hour, you might as well just.
Oh no!
quit.
What that means is you can't have two 5-minute breaks within the same 60 minutes.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah, but you can bank your breaks. So
You could bank them.
So you can play 3 hours and then have a 15-minute break.
correct.
And how many guys are going to be participating in this?
This is a 4-man event, and the teams as they start have to stay as they are.
So it's 2-on-2 for 40 some hours.
Yeah.
We're hoping around 52 hours.
Are they drug testing?
I could probably do that.
Because they should have drug tested you guys before you actually thought this up. 50 some hours of playing 0-1 with the same guy. Because I could think of people that after about 20 minutes, I'm like, man, if
I don't want to be around this
on
guy anymore.
3 again, we're gonna have words, man. We're gonna have words.
I would think though, after 40 hours, into the 40th hour though, you could get some interesting versions of 501. Like I'm gonna start.
I anticipate a lot of 19s.
I'm gonna play triple tens this leg. And
what, just to keep
Well,
yourself from
I know
going
these guys
insane?
have already talked about throwing lefty and underhanded, and as long as it gets to the board, it's all that matters.
right.
Well, I can imagine your arm getting kind of tired and maybe wanting to shift and go
Yeah,
lefty.
I'll be throwing left-handed for quite a bit.
And I'll have a lot of high packs.
I'd be up at the line by hiking a football, but hiking the dart into the dartboard.
So are you guys doing the marathon, you three?
Lance and I are on the same team.
Okay.
And Aaron will be running the room, and Doug Bohan and Kevin Lee will be the other team.
Are you going to keep any sort of score?
That's been a thought of mine. I was actually thinking I'd like to know what I averaged over the entire thing and was going to keep a separate thing. But I think I'm not going to worry about that during the marathon. If I really want it that bad, I can look at the video record.
But Guinness does want to
41 hours counting up your 45s and 26s and 1040s. I mean, I'm not sure you're going to want to relive this anytime soon.
My 11s and my 7s, yeah. Okay.
My dart off the board.
What disqualifies you? I mean, if your partner sits down while you're throwing, and next thing you know, you turn around and he's passed out.
That would do
you
it.
have to get to the board when it's your throw.
They specify that we have to follow, again, World Darts Federation rules. So there has to be a certain
leg.
Yeah,
and
and
diddle every leg. Because I will if you're going to play for 41 hours and you're going to diddle every leg, I'm going to come out there and watch. I swear to God, I will, and I will be laughing so hard that I'll probably just.
Well, you guys have got to come and watch us. We're going to be streaming live online, and I figure about the 40th hour, if the audio is on, it should be pretty entertaining.
Well, we'll definitely, be happy to post a link for you on that. I mean, that's. I made this suggestion to Angelo, and I don't know if I did it on the air or something, or whether it was like a private conversation. But I told him what you guys should do is get like a paramedic to be on the stage
with an IV.
Well, no, have a paramedic there, to create the drama that, no, they're going to play 41 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, they won't let you drive a car being awake that long, right?
Oh, death is a possibility here.
I'm not saying
They
death, but I was
They
kind
let
of
a
like,
Walmart
look,
truck driver.
if you're going to stream it, and then like every hour they're, during your 5-minute breaks, they're taking, you got, a paramedic taking your pulse and all this stuff. I think that would add some drama once you get to the point where are they going to make the 41
Where you could
hours?
possibly pass out. Yeah.
I'm just saying that you could really turn this into something really cool. I remember talking to Angelo about this, and he said you were going to do all these other records, and I said, there's no way on earth they're going to break those. Like the, what is it? Like the most points scored by a what in an hour?
Team?
4-man team? What?
8-man team in an hour, and that is actually very high. If you take a look at the record, it's just insanely high.
You have no chance of breaking that. They've had 8 seasoned English professionals set that record.
Yep.
I mean, no offense to you guys. I'm sure you're very good players.
They don't care if anybody breaks it. They just care
It's
if
all
everybody
for
donates
charity.
$10
No,
to try and break it.
wait,
Oh,
what?
sure.
Is that what it is? You're charging everybody $10 to try it. They're not going to break it. They have no.
We're gonna break
But it goes to
Okay,
charity.
I get it. Okay.
If they get everybody to donate $10 just to try it, that's more power to them.
Okay, because I actually thought about this. You need coordinated teamwork to get to the line, grab your darts, get out of the way so the net, and keep the chain moving. And then we were talking about, well, maybe you don't want to have all 8 people throwing. Maybe you want to have 3 people throwing and start rotating people in to keep them fresh because you have to keep pounding in the 20s. And then who's going to keep score for this?
Well, you can have chalkers. That's not a problem. You can have external chalkers.
But who wants to chalk that?
Because they have to be fast.
Yeah,
It has to be on the button.
Literally, I know some chalkers that would guarantee instant failure. I've seen if you accidentally throw a ton 37, you're done. That's not going to
You
work.
do have to be a little careful.
So is Mark right then? You're just going to offer everybody, for $10 you get a chance to break this record. Is that kind of what we're doing?
Yeah.
Well, in the hopes that some of these records are broken.
Yeah,
Which ones?
also,
Okay, well, which ones do you think are the most likely to get broken?
The marathon.
the marathon and perhaps the long distance. Unfortunately, Owen has been practicing the most bowls in a minute and probably would have broken that one, but unfortunately he's in the marathon. So next time we do this, 2 years hence, we will put him into that event and let him take that record.
Why is it 2 years?
Because I'm not going to be ready to do anything for another 2 years.
Are you ready for a break at least?
Yeah, okay. Are you
we
mean us or them?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Stay with us, fellas. Go ahead and mute it. We're going to take another quick break and be back with the Battle Boys. Are you listening to Dart Talk Mystery Mark Steve Prontielman, and we will be back in flash.
Dart Talk agrees to adhere to the Geneva Convention in treating fairly its prisoners in their war against lackluster darting administration and behaviour.
Okay, back for the second half of Dart Talk, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks, Windy City Fabricators, Redwood Darts. We're back with the Battle Boys, Buffalo Area Dart League. And by the way, just so everybody knows, I'm not smoking in the studio. This is some vapor thing. Just so, you know.
But
guys.
technically you're smoking.
Well, no, I'm not. I'm vaping. But
You're
when you
vaping.
see me go like this off the screen, I mean, pretend
You
I'm
used to
checking
do
the
that.
printer for
You used
something.
to do that off the screen, and then the smoke would waft through the camera. But not anymore.
That was the exhaust from the air conditioner.
Oh,
that
that's
truck
right, yeah.
that was idling.
Yeah.
That wasn't me.
That's right.
Okay, so anyway, so we're talking about where we leave off is I'm curious if you think any of these records are going to be broken. You're fairly confident you got this marathon thing figured out?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
their goal is to hit 52 hours only because I think they saw some Aussie team reach 48 a few months ago, but it wasn't recognized by Guinness. So they're pretty hell-bent on beating the 50 just to prove a point.
Do you train like an actual marathon runner would train for a marathon? Do you
Oh,
stack in
yes.
carbohydrates.
All
Well,
the
no,
time.
you go like this week we're going to do 7 hours of nonstop darts, and then you increase it to 9, and then
maybe they should play the Chicago Dart League where the matches go till the bar closes every night.
Right.
You know,
I'm in the bottom level, and our matches go that long too.
How do you prepare yourself for 50 hours of straight darts?
Yeah, seriously, what have you guys done to prepare for this the world record marathon thing?
To be honest with you, I've been involved in actual work projects where we worked for 40 hours straight and things like that. And to be honest with you, it is more mental than any other thing. The physical thing, you're either going to be able to do it or not, but your mind will quit first.
Are you allowed to have 5-hour energy or anything like that, or is
Yeah, Red Bull, all those things are. In fact, we tried to get them as sponsors, and
Ritalin,
that didn't work.
Benny's.
I would think like
I'm-
Red Bull with 5-hour energy would sponsor.
I know,
that.
but I think, that's the thing where I was like, you should have like a paramedic there for the second 24 hours. Because if you're guzzling Red Bull, I mean, at some point, weren't like kids getting sick? Like they're all trying to guzzle Monster or something because it's caffeine and it does stuff to your heart rate and everything. And I'm kind of thinking, okay.
They were mixed with alcohol.
Say again?
I think they were drinking those energy drinks with alcohol.
Oh, well, that's like Jaeger bombs. Those are terrible.
Yeah,
Nobody
that's
should
awful.
never try that at home. All right, so you guys are very confident, but you haven't really done like a trial run where you tried to play for 16 hours so everybody could see, okay, this is not going to be as easy as it sounds?
No, but Doug and myself have been to multiple tournaments where you play all weekend anyway, so it's not a far stretch
Yeah,
from
but
that.
I complain about it every other show.
The two oldest guys, myself and Kevin Lee, both are just incredibly cantankerous, stubborn old sons of guns, and we'll just do it on sheer orneriness.
Okay, well, that's probably, that works in your favor.
Yeah.
The fact that, you got some stick-to-itiveness. What do you think the odds are, these guys? Now what, you have to go, 50 hours, really, to beat the unofficial record? Or what's the unofficial record?
I believe it was over 50, actually. The Aussie team, they've got a neat little video posted. It's about a 6-minute video.
A 6-minute video?
I was
It's
gonna say,
supposed to be 50
Did
hours.
they post the whole 50 hours?
It's all the highlights.
It's all the highlights. It's huge. I do believe it's on
He's
YouTube.
fallen and he can't get up. He can't pick up the stuff. Oh, my God. What happens, like, let's say you throw a dart and the point gets stuck in the board separated from the barrel and you can't find the point. So you don't know how to score it. I mean, is this going to be a deal breaker or what?
I think we'll have to
an
refer
official
to the
score.
steward at that point.
Yeah, for everything that we've seen, it doesn't really matter the results of the games, just that there's continuous play, and they refer to just making sure that it's a standard pace of play, and not you're not trying to drag it out too far, or you're not trying to play speed darts or anything like that either. So whatever they consider a standard pace.
Well, I couldn't imagine you play speed.
Can the show make a suggestion?
Sure.
All right, why don't you guys keep track of how many legs you complete? Because that may be another record that they'll recognize.
It's interesting. We proposed a couple of records that we thought would be certainly accepted, and were denied.
Screw them. No. You keep track of it, and then you say, we have it on tape. We played 51 hours and completed 3,421 legs of 501. And let's see you beat that.
Well, I know one of the things that they do want is for us to keep track of the results of the game.
Yeah, wins, losses, 180s.
Yeah, so there is some sort of tallying that they want us to keep track of along the way.
Well, we want you to keep track of how many rounds are 3 or under.
Right.
Now, what do you think you guys will have more? Rounds under 10 or rounds over
15.
130?
11.
Yeah, so you could shoot that like, the 11-14 wire, just to get on the over if, you got 2 darts on the floor. No, seriously, I mean, what are you guys thinking here? Are you thinking it's just going to be like, can I raise my arm and straighten it? Or do you think you'll be able to actually play at a relatively decent level for that entire amount of time?
Doug and Owen are actually really good players. Kevin and myself are not very good players. However, I know that we will try our best the entire time.
Yeah, I imagine they're probably going to do, their usual for about a good 10, 12 hours, and then as the mind kind of wanders, I can see that the 26s and the 11s and the 3s and all that will start, especially once they start.
Actually, you'll probably shoot more threes. You'll probably shoot more threes when you're after like hour 5, and then by hour 25, you're just gonna be dropping everything into like the 10s and the.
No, I was gonna say, have you considered just like that you're gonna end up throwing at the 14 the second day?
I'm sure they'll be happy at some point of just hitting the board.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like you're going to be so tired. Throw for the 14 so you end up piling up more legs so that record maybe gets recognized at some point.
I've actually practiced throwing left-handed, so I'm up to about 2 hours left-handed comfortably.
Are you naturally left-handed?
No.
Oh, okay.
You're up to 2 hours what? Throwing?
Just throwing.
2 hours?
To give my right arm a break.
Yeah. Have you guys thought about the physical toll? Have you done any even semi-marathons to see kind of what you're going to do to yourselves here?
Just a regular 3-day weekend tournament for myself. That's about it. So probably about 18, 22 hours of almost straight play.
Well, we're wishing you luck. What are you? You're the odds
Sound
maker.
like it.
You're the odds maker on the show. What are the odds these guys go over 50 hours?
Well, I wouldn't set it too high. I mean, I'd say like probably 3 to 1,
based on what they've said.
Well, based on I could see staying up for 50 hours and playing darts.
You can see staying up. Have you ever stayed up for 50 hours unless you were like under like artillery barrage or something?
But I've stayed up for well over 24.
Okay, that's not even halfway.
I know,
Lance says he does work things where they're up 40 hours.
Yeah, you need
and
another
what's
job.
the longest you've ever stayed up?
Probably about 36.
And under what circumstances were you listening to like the Dart Talk Weekend Marathon or what?
No, actually I used to work in a pizzeria. We used to do an all night event like Super Bowl weekend, and that was in 130-degree temperature, so 36 hours.
So that's like a new weight loss program.
What were the pizzas like in hour 35?
Yeah. Were they even round by then?
Yeah.
It can't be any worse than that.
See, I can't
Is that how they
imagine.
came up with the New York style pizza?
Well-
you just made it so thin because you didn't know what you were doing.
Guy's
after
been
that?
up for 36
Hey, wait a minute.
hours. What
Don't
kind
start
of
talking
customer
smack about
service did you
pizza.
provide? I mean, I ordered pepperoni, and this doesn't even have cheese on it. And what, you just get out of here,
No,
take
it's-
this and go?
Yeah.
I mean,
Not about the quality.
So, the Owen, I'm sorry, the longest you said it was about 36 hours?
Yeah, 36 hours.
He's
Now, don't-
still over a half a day short.
Right.
Now, don't forget, guys, we can total up our breaks. And my strategy is that I want to try and get anywhere from 36 to 40 hours in with only about a half an hour of broken up for bathroom breaks, that'll give us about 2 to 2.5 hours to actually lay down and sleep.
You can't do that. The minute you lay down, you won't get up. You're going to have to get a harness and have somebody hang you on a hook, with your feet just barely off the ground, and then kind of pick you up and put you back down and let you go play some more. No, you'll lock up. You're going to literally, I swear to God, you're going to have to keep moving. The first dart you throw after a 2-hour nap is going to either hit you in the foot or like hit a ceiling light. I mean, I can't imagine how hard this is going to be.
That's okay.
Well, no, I'm saying you're going to hurt yourself.
Oh, I'm sure they'll be hurting.
I've done things like that where I've worked for 36 hours, slept for an hour and a half, and still put 18 in after that.
Okay. Well, you guys are confident. I like that. I like to see that. Aaron, you haven't said anything. What do you think the odds are that they're going to make?
I'm going 40 hours, 50 hours straight. No, I'm going to bed.
Okay, so
see you tomorrow.
Aaron, what do you think they'll make it? What do you think?
I think they'll make it because, like Lance said, they're curmudgeon-y old SOBs. So I think they'll do it.
Okay. You guys don't have any issues, like nobody's got gout or like bad knees or anything?
Not yet.
It's the standing, I think, that's really going to get to you. Right.
Dude, I'm not even going to show you my medical records.
Right. Okay. Are you guys going to wear gym shoes or street shoes? Was there a dress code or any requirements from Guinness on what you could wear?
No, but we did talk a lot about that. The thing of it is, once you wear your most comfortable shoes to begin with, and once you take those off, you know that your feet are going to swell. So you got to have either flip flops or maybe barefoot, comfortable clothing. I've got a whole duffel bag already packed and of different things that I think I may need. But things like
sleeping bag.
Yes, sleeping bag. Well, actually, just a closed cell foam pad and a couple of blankets, foam earplugs, so that I don't have to listen to these guys snore when I'm trying to get a couple hours sleep. Just everything. We've tried to anticipate whatever we may. Ace bandages to wrap elbows and wrap knees, cold packs, hot packs, anything like that we can give ourselves some relief.
The more we're talking the medical stuff, the more I'm thinking that this is going to be rough. Are we up on a break yet? Okay, we're going to take one more break and come back with the Battle Boys. You're listening to Dart Talk with Mystery Mark, Steve Ponselman. This will be a quick break, and we'll be right back.
You are now and forevermore warned that you consume this show at your own risk, and that Dart Talk cannot be brought to justice in any court or by any government, including and not restricted to the grand spaghetti monster of the Triple 20.
Okay, back for the fourth quarter of Dart Talk, brought to you by the Dart Zone.
Stay in the zone.
TheDartZone.com is an official Cosmo distributor. Also, many thanks Windy City Fabricators, Redwood Darts, Jeff Dodson, our musical director, and the Buffalo Area Dart League fellas, Owen, Lance, and Aaron. Aaron's been really quiet. Let me just ask you, if you were Aaron and you thought they weren't going to make it, would you tell them?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I mean, you got to be supportive.
I'd probably tell him. Well, no, I think you'd more along the lines go say, I think you guys are nuts, but good luck.
No, we're rooting
I
for
definitely
you.
told him that. There's no way that I think that this is something a sane person does, but rock on.
Well, I think it's a great. Now you guys picked cystic fibrosis as the charity. Do you have a target goal in mind? How much you can raise, or are you just going to try to raise as much as you can, or?
Yeah, I think at this point we just want to raise as much as we can, so we can at the end of the day say that we did something good for them.
Well, sure. Now we talked a little bit earlier, and we're going to run out of time, so we're not going to really get to it. But I wanted to ask you what it was like going after sponsors and kind of like what kind of reception you got with an event like this, because it is pretty novel to go try to break a bunch of Guinness World Records one weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of tried a whole different bunch of avenues. We've tried a lot of local establishments. We've tried a lot of things like Red Bull and Monster Energy and all those. So we try to go both local and corporate. It's been a very big challenge. We've probably, here's an example. We've had a lot of better luck getting sponsorship from friends of friends kind of a thing. Hey, my husband is trying this, my friend is doing that, do you mind giving us a $50 gift card, a $100 gift, whatever you can afford kind of a thing. And we've kind of been raising money that way. We're doing on top of the darts, we're doing 50-50 raffle, we're doing basket raffles that people have donated, and we're doing a silent auction with a bunch of sports memorabilia that a bunch of our friends have graciously donated. So it's right now it's been a lot of just friends and family kind of atmosphere as far as donations are concerned.
And the facility donated.
Yeah, that's one of the things that really should be brought up is where it's being done is the Pearl Street Grill and Brewery, the largest brew pub in the continental United States, and they have given us the whole second floor. They've been absolutely fabulous. They are brewing a special beer for us for the weekend. And doing drink and food specials, and they've just been wonderful. Bill Casal is the general manager down there, and he's just been really receptive to everything we've wanted to do.
We've got on our website, we've got in numerous places, it's WNYBADL.com. We've got a whole bunch of areas where you can donate to the cause. You can see the tournament lineup that we have for all the different events, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We've got bands going all weekend long. We've got a face painter on Saturday. We've got a retail dart retailer coming down on Saturday to be able to sell some product. So we're really trying to promote. We're doing blind draws, and we're going to do a bunch of weakest link events along the way of just saying, hey, we've got an hour free if some people want to just put a little bit of money in and throw some darts for a good cause. We'll gladly take whatever we can take.
Sure. Okay. So now that was the WNYBADL.com.
Correct.
All right. So that's Western New York Buffalo Area Dart League.
Yep.
Is there an Eastern New York Buffalo Area Dart League?
No.
Okay. Well, it's a good mnemonic then.
Because we are Western New York.
Okay.
We get asked it all the time. So how far away are you from New York City? Far.
As far as you can be and still be distinct.
Well, I think that's great. It sounds like a great thing. It sounds like a load of fun. I really wish you guys were closer to Chicago so I could come and hang out.
Yeah.
It's happening this weekend, isn't
not
it?
13 hours away.
Yep, 27th through the 29th.
So when is the marathon teams, when are you guys going to start?
We're hoping for 10 a.m. on Friday morning.
You're hoping?
Well, the surveyor's got
sleep. It's not going to really lend me much confidence that you're going to make it.
Well, we have to wait for the surveyor to come in. We're setting up on Thursday night. All the participants will be there at probably 8:30 to 9 o'clock. Once the surveyor is in and we have a confirmation that the video is recording, we have to make sure that everything we need to do to certify this is in place.
Have you thought about what size the file is going to be by the time you're done?
I donated a 2 terabyte drive to the cause.
See, these guys are all
Yeah,
over
they
this.
got it.
These guys have figured this out. This is really exciting.
What-
We didn't start yesterday.
What's the record for most bullseyes in a minute?
It's interesting. They don't do it by the number of bullseyes. They do it by the total score scored by bullseyes. That way you get 50 points, of course, for the double and 25 for the outer.
How many for the triple?
You know what? We're working on that.
Okay, so what's the record?
Let me get into the file here. I might have.
That's a really big file.
You said,
got
Owen,
there,
when you were
man.
practicing that?
I'm gonna have.
Well, no, the one he's talking about is how many actual bullseyes you can hit in a minute.
Right.
And the record for that is 10 by the guy that is trying to sell that new scoreboard with the magnets.
10 bullseyes in a minute.
Yeah, I'll practice.
Bullseyes. What? That's the record.
That's the record,
Yeah.
believe it or not.
No,
I've
that
had
is not the record.
If you walk casually to the board in a minute, you get four turns at the board. So
Okay, I don't know who says that's the record. I guarantee you that's breakable. I
it
guarantee
is
Exactly.
It is
Well, okay. I mean, because
just practicing that, I've had 18.
Phil
16.
Taylor, I heard, hit 10 straight double bulls. That's his personal record.
Right.
So no
But
one's
you-
going to do
but-
better than that.
But you have to file an application.
Yeah.
No, you don't. That's
Yes, you
just for
do.
that's just for
No.
Guinness to recognize it. That doesn't mean you didn't do it.
It's got to be in the book.
Look,
If
if
you put it in the book.
if you slept with Scarlett Johansson and there wasn't a paparazzi there to record it, did you sleep with her or not?
Yeah, but who's going to believe
I
it?
Who
wouldn't care.
cares? So she denies it. Well, what do you care?
Well, yeah, but so I I hit
okay.
20
We're
bullseyes.
at- okay.
I hit 20 bullseyes in a minute.
Okay.
You're going to be like,
So
yeah,
the
whatever.
official record is 10, and I would say that is, that's gone anytime anybody wants to jump through some hoops, because
Right.
I don't
Right.
think that's very remarkable at all.
Which is why we're rather confident on some of these records being broken this weekend.
Well, okay, 10's very doable, I think. What else you got there that you think's very doable?
Very doable. Well, that's the inner-outer bull, 1 minute, one person, and then there's the marathon, and then the other bull record is
2 minutes.
inner-outer, 2 minutes by 2 people.
By 2 people. And what's that record?
I knew you were
Gotta
going
be
to
like
ask
30 or something.
that was Sager.
Probably 12.
No, 12.
His file's too big.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of. I've got file envy, to be honest with you. That's a pretty big file he's looking at there.
Not a job you want.
That's his red.
You podcast listeners, this is one time, watch it on YouTube. I mean,
Yeah,
because you might be missing some of the jokes, but
This is his right pocket.
I see.
I have the specific guidelines packet, but in the specific guidelines packet, there is not a definition of what the current record is. If you go to the Guinness website, they will tell you that you need to check with them on a regular basis because the records change constantly. And that's one of the things we're going to do during the weekend also, is we're going to be in touch with Guinness on Facebook to make sure that Aussie record doesn't become official or whatever. But in any case, we're going to go past them.
Yeah, I mean, you can't stop at 42.
No.
I'm thinking, what's a good
42 hours, and they all just say, yay, and just fall down.
Now 52 actually.
I swear they should have a couple of gurneys standing by. I really do.
My wife, who is a registered nurse, agrees with you.
There you
So-
go. So somebody on the same page.
By the way, somebody just posted in the chat room the website for Guinness.
Oh, okay. Well, I think
We
Guinness
also
has
have
done
the
this.
whatever
Is that the
Guinness.
beer?
It's
Or-
the whole specific inner outer double bull thing.
Oh, okay.
There's
Did,
a-
Our
did they
website
tell
also
you
has
what the
what
answer was?
is that Guinness recognizes for each of those attempts.
Say that again.
So
I'm
we-
sorry.
If you go to our website, I'm trying to pull it up now.
The
We've got what the-
WNYBADL.com.
Yep.
Okay. You got that stuff listed?
Yeah.
So you think the bullseye records are in jeopardy, the marathon record is in jeopardy, and the other ones are like combined score for an hour or something?
Well, yeah, and the interesting thing is the women's record combined score is an open record. Nobody's challenged that. I actually am fairly
If you score
OCD about
5,
things.
then you get it? I mean, it's like
Right.
0?
It's never been defined that way, and that's one of the things I did was look at the wording of stuff. And if they defined it as a men's record, it implies that there should be a women's record. So that's why we made an application for
You
a
could
couple
go
of
up
women's.
there, yeah, like you said, score 5 points
Do you
and at least
have,
get your name in the book for a year.
Do you have 8 women, or are you going to just try to round up 8 women who put in $10?
I think we've got 6. We're working on 2 more.
Who do you got so far?
Mostly local women from here, but I got a word out to Callie West, and
Robin Curry?
yeah,
They're kind
we're
of a
hoping.
package deal these days.
Yeah.
You might be able to get 2 for
Where
1
there's
on
one,
that.
there's 2.
They're a good package.
Okay, and then I don't know. You might try to get some of the New York women to come up, like Susanna Kovac and Jackie Clark. I mean, if you I mean, there's a lot of good players around there.
Yeah.
If you could get them to come up for a day now.
Where the local women are 4 of them are set in stone, so there's probably room for 4.
That's
so
not a
if,
very nice thing to say.
if those ladies if those ladies want to show up, we would
We'd welcome with open arms.
Happy to get them in a slot.
But this is
Absolutely.
more like a local Buffalo thing, pretty much, as far as the players go.
Anybody wants to? I mean, if Larry Butler wants to show up and try something, by all means show up.
Please. We'd love it.
More the merrier.
Okay.
Stay
Darren
away
Young
from
lives
marathon.
closer. Jimmy Widmer lives closer. I mean,
He's more than welcome.
I
More than
can't
welcome.
think of who else.
I think
I'm
he's
going to
been thinking-
Cleveland tomorrow. I'll ask around because we had these Cleveland guys came on the show and was talking about they did some world record and I'm trying to remember now who I talked to, but he kind of said we kind of knew the record wasn't like nobody had really tried to do it
Right.
So this open record you should try to really like get it up there high so you can keep it for a while. Right.
Sure,
It's
yeah.
kind of weird. As soon as somebody finds out you did it, then they'll try to break it.
Absolutely.
So, what do you have a goal in mind as far as how many hours you want to go? Did you guys like kind of decide? Okay, well the Aussies, as soon as we get by them, let's pack it in, or
My goal, and I don't know that I necessarily speak for all, but my goal is around 52 hours because with the breaks, that puts us right about, if we start at 10 a.m. Friday morning, that puts us finishing right about the 6 o'clock news on Sunday. And I'm hoping to parlay that into some local coverage as well.
well, you would think that they would come out there for something like that if you guys are still standing.
I think it'd be better if you kept going and then they came out and videoed you when you're on your 53rd hour.
Well, no, they could come out for the 6 o'clock news and
Right.
say, "Hey, these guys are still going
Still
out
going,
and come
that's what I'm
out and
saying.
cheer them, and maybe
Right.
they'll give you a little adrenaline rush, and you can make it till midnight."
They
or
might
something.
do that anyway because Channel 7 had us on their weather lunch cast, so to trying to promote it. So Channel 7 might show up for us for sure.
Okay, is that an ABC thing?
I think it's an ABC.
Yeah,
It's an ABC.
It's our local WKBW.
Okay, but which it's a ABC,
ABC
network.
affiliate.
ABC tends to of the terrestrial networks like CBS, NBC.
CBS goes up there, too.
ABC, at least around in Chicago, they're the ones that would be more likely to come out for like what they used to call personal interest stories. I don't know what they call them anymore, but they're
Fillers.
Well, okay.
Wait a
See,
minute.
now look what you said to it. Look, you're accusing our guests of being fluff. I mean, I don't think that's right. He apologizes. He doesn't know what he's talking about. No, I think it's great. I mean, feel free to post the link to the stream on the Dart Talk Facebook page. I'll try to pass it along when you guys have it up. I don't know. You're going to have it up for the whole 40, 50, 60 hours? Or
Yep, the plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm dying to meet your commentator.
Yeah, right?
Come on down.
Yeah, we can
Oh.
use a couple of professionals.
Well, I'll be about halfway there tomorrow, but then I have to come back. But to be honest, I think it'd be great to come out there. I wish I could because maybe I could leave my mom in Cleveland and take off.
There you
and
go.
then pick her up on the way back. I don't
There
know
you go, Mom. Get out.
Well, yeah.
Bring her with you.
Oh dear.
for real buffalo wings.
Well, no, because she's well, I usually don't get personal here, but my mom is a nursing professor.
Cool.
So not only will she tell your wife how wrong she is about very many things, but she'll probably put the kibosh on your match and be like, "No, your blood pressure's too high."
Too
I'm
late.
like, Mom, that's not the player; it's the guy over there. And she's like, "Well, his blood pressure's too high too." So I'm not sure that would be fruitful.
Probably not. No,
Are
probably
you
not.
got anything else for these guys? I mean, we're missing a lot of stuff, but this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, no,
somebody's got to come on the show and tell us how it went next week. If you all three want to come back on, that's fine.
If you're
if
you're awake.
maybe we should leave it to Aaron. The other two guys may
Yeah,
be
that's exactly. The other guys are going to be sleeping.
incapacitated. Aaron, can we count on you to give us an update on these guys and how it went?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Can you come on same time next week?
Sure.
Oh, okay. This will be great.
Yeah.
And then also for the listeners, next week we'll be announcing Players Challenge Series matches, dates, and venues, and we'll have some other news, and we'll start talking about this PDC challenge and a bunch of results that we haven't gotten to. I didn't have time to update the crawl this week. I'm awfully sorry, but we'll have that all updated next week with some new stuff. And what else?
You were supposed to talk about dart players in general, but I don't know.
Oh, I was gonna rip dart players. Oh, I hate. How much? Where are we on time?
We're like over by 5-8 minutes.
For the lack of their charity work.
No. No. Here's my thought of the week, and we will end on this. So all you darters out there can think about this because this is, I spent 4 days at a soft tip tournament. Talking to all sorts of people, and let me tell you, a soft tip tournament, these people really know how to have fun, and I will say one thing, that the biggest difference I saw this weekend, and there weren't a lot of pros, it was a lot of amateurs, the self-expression with which these people approach the sport is much different than I see on the steel side. I mean, it was really kind of cool because people want certain flights and they want their tips to match their flights, like to be color coordinated and everything. And they all have like these little idiosyncratic things that they want to keep going. And I just thought it was really cool. But here's the thought that I will leave everyone this week. Thank God we're ending the show.
Easy to say.
I'm having a hard time with the complete sentences today. For every darter out there, there is an ideal setup. And by setup, I mean the combination of your flight and your shaft. And I guarantee you at least 90% of all the darters out there do not have the ideal setup.
I would probably agree with that.
I talked to maybe 30 different people, and I would say 75% of them are using the flights that someone gave them and said, here, use these flights. Here, use these shafts. And nobody has really sat down and really played around to see, based on how hard you throw, what kind of darts you throw, the arm speed you use, the actual feet per second that your dart moved through the air. Very, very, very few people use the correct setup. And if they did use the correct setup, they would get better results, all other things being equal. For all the amateurs I was watching, I'm like, if that guy, some people don't understand why some flights are bigger than others and what benefit you get from a bigger flight versus a smaller flight. And I was just amazed. I'm like, then why are you using these flights? Well, my buddy gave them to me, and I thought they were cool, and then I hit a bullseye. So I was like, this is pretty good. And I'm like, they're not real scientific about this. No. And I don't have time to go into all the aerodynamics and stuff, but I want to leave everyone with this thought just for the week. Look at your setup. And ask yourself, where did I come up with this? And is this really for me? And then we'll talk more about it next week.
Sounds like a plan.
Thanks to the Buffalo Area Dart League, Owen, Lance, and Aaron for coming on the show. Aaron, you're going to come back next week. Give us an update.
Definitely.
We will post a link to the stream on our Dart Talk Facebook page for people that want to watch it. We'll share it out on Facebook and all that stuff. Wish you guys all
Good
the
luck.
best.
Yeah.
In all
Really.
seriousness,
Thanks,
I hope it goes really, really well, and you raise so much money that you decide to do it again next year instead of in 2 years.
Not.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Well, you could be replaced for a year or so.
In order to build on this stuff, you can't let everyone forget about it and then do it 2 years. You got to start. If you want to build it up, you got to do it every year like they did with this Beacon of Hope. That's working really well.
I'll tell you what. If you guys promise that you'll come, I'll do it again next year.
Okay, we'll come. How's that?
There it is.
Okay,
It's done.
All it took.
You're not going to have it in Buffalo again, are you?
Oh.
Hell yes.
All right, we'll talk about that offline. We'll come out there for that. I think that'd
Awesome.
be fun.
Awesome.
If there was any way
too.
I could make it this weekend, I really would, because it sounds
we'd
like a
love
great
to have
cause. Anyway, thanks for coming on the show, guys. Just mute your mic and hang out while we wrap this up, and we'll talk a little bit offline. No after party this week, but we'll stay in the chat room for a little bit for you guys. Thanks, everybody, for listening. We'll be back 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern next Wednesday night.
You betcha.
Dark talk to you then. Safe travels, everybody. Take care, and thanks for listening.
You do that too. You do it all.